Minnesota Opera's bel canto fascination, shall we say, started in the year 2000. In fact, we'd been doing some interesting bel canto works prior to that, but it was really all about a philosophical understanding of what opera is, why we do it, and how we do it. In the Italian world, the orchestral accompaniments were just based on kind of very simple, almost guitar strumming. You know, a sense of very simplistic sound where the voice would easily carry over the top. It was all about melody for the Italians in the bel canto style. The second part of the whole bel canto period was, of course, a period of music, which ranged basically from about 1810 to 1860. That's when Italian opera was at the zenith. Everybody was crazy about Italian opera. And the structure of the Italian opera style, especially in the beginning of it, was also based on these bel canto singing techniques. The voice was everything. It was all about the diva. It was all about the singers being able to do what they wanted. And the accompaniment was very, very simple, allowing the singers a certain freedom to express. They were great improvisers. So essentially there would be a chord, there would be a stop in the orchestra, and the singer would be expected to then sort of vocalize and go on. It was really the style of it. So during this time frame from about 1810 to 1860, composers such as Rossini, Bellini, Donizetti, and even early Verdi, Mercadante, Pacini, they all wrote in this very strict Italian style in which the singers were really the whole point of going to the opera. In the bel canto tome, there are certain pieces that were and remain masterpieces, pieces that both celebrated the Italian vocal technique, but also moved opera forward. In the case of Lucia di Lammermoor by Donizetti, it was a piece that dramatically moved the art form forward. As much as it is a celebration of singing, which Lucia is, it's also a very dramatic story and is very much a masterpiece of the tome. There are several that I can point to: Norma, Bellini, Lucia di Lammermoor, Anna Bolena, both by Donizetti, Barber of Seville by Rossini, William Tell by Rossini. These pieces were really the cornerstone of the bel canto period. That's why we're doing it. And also we're doing it because we found a group of singers who I think are going to be fantastic in the role. You can do Lucia if you can find somebody who is able to sustain the dramatic arc of that piece, at the same time be fearless in her singing. Lucia, perdona se ora inusitate il vederti chiedea.
I think that the audience, the community here will love this Lucia, first of all because the cast is just unbelievable. There are all young singers and they are just, vocally, they are spectacular. And when we did the rehearsal, I can see that there is a very good chemistry. There is a very good atmosphere, that's important. Because to create a work like, to put it on stage, a work like this, if you don't have a big commitment and trust, I don't think that most of the time can work. It can be just a show-off for individual singers, but it's a big ensemble piece because everybody is connected with everybody. And probably what Donizetti did in a very subtle way, that we are discovering this. Even like the chorus, all the principals, let's say this, chorus and orchestra included, they are involved in the story. Everybody has something to say. And what, in my opinion, makes Lucia a great opera is that every single note. First, there's no weak link in the score.
Lucia is an important role for sopranos because it's the magnitude of the role, not only vocally but dramatically, and it's those two things together that make it so demanding. But vocally, it's sort of the bel canto style of long phrases and long lines. And this will be the first role that I've worked on that primarily has that throughout. And so I think that's for me what makes it most demanding, is the long legato lines.
Lucia is a surprisingly relatable character to someone today, to me, in the sense that I can't personally relate to this, but I know people who perhaps can. She has no one in her circle, no one that she can talk to, who she can actually be herself with. Everyone dismisses her or takes her to mean nothing, and takes whatever she says to mean nothing. And because of that, I find that the only person who lets her explore herself emotionally or really become who she is Edgardo, the one person that she cannot be with. And so it's when that is taken away, when she finds out that he has been unfaithful to her, which to her is truth in the opera. It's a lie, however, but to her it's truth. And when that's taken away, there is no more outlet for her. There is no way for freedom. And the only way she can find freedom is in her own world, which is essentially her madness, and why she kills Arturo and why she goes insane at the end, I think, is to find what we all desire, which is freedom.
Why Lucia is a star vehicle? I think we decided. The tune is fantastic. As I said, there's no one moment that you say, oh, this is boring, or this, because there is always a meaning. And we hope all together, and in person, me with the orchestra, with the Minnesota Opera Orchestra, to bring up details, a lot of details, because this piece is about details, it's about dynamics, it's about the more dynamics that we can explore in this piece, the happier I am. But the better it is for the piece, because you tell the story. Everybody, the strength of Lucia di Lammermoor is that everybody is a principal, orchestra, chorus, and the principal on stage. It's a star vehicle because you see the artist. You don't see the singer in this piece, you see the artist in like full circle. And I think that's why it's a very hard role, and that's why when you do a role like this, it's not for granted that you become a star, but it's an arrival point as well. It's like you do Lucia when you don't do Lucia just to do Lucia. You do Lucia when you can do Lucia, and I think that's the reason, and that's why that's the reason why the artists that we mentioned became who they were.
Lucia is a benchmark role for a soprano. It is one that can be done by a myriad of different kinds of sopranos. You can have dramatic sopranos sing it. You can have light lyric coloratures sing it. Everyone from Montserrat Caballé to Natalie Dessay can all sing it in their own way, and in a very convincing way that's true to the score. There are very few roles that allow so many different kinds of sopranos to approach it and authentically. It can be a showcase for vocal fireworks. Someone like Beverly Sills or Joan Sutherland, who really took it and flew with the coloratura throughout. It can be a dramatic showcase, like Maria Callas, whose every syllable or every note can be filled with something so great, so full of passion or drama or heartbreak or joy. And it can be interpreted in so many different ways that it's something that the first time you do it is version number A, and the second time is version number B, and hopefully throughout your life you go through the alphabet several times over, exploring different ways and different facets of the character. So for sopranos, it's a role that that helps you find your vocal identity and also lets you explore different sides of yourself dramatically and vocally for a long time to come, hopefully.